Right. Apologies for absence, please, Angela.
Madam Chair.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Could we have Maria? Maria Lovells, apologies in for tonight, please. Thank you. Okay, to sign the minutes of the 8th of September. Thank you very much. The first item on the, we've got no business covered by the current forward plan, no business of special urgency, no references from committees, no recommendations from scrutiny reviews, and no petitions. So the first item is under my portfolio, and it's the South Midlands Inter-Authority Agreement. Members will remember back in April 2024, SEMLEP ceased to exist, and by agreement, the 6 local authorities, West Northamptonshire Council is now the host authority and accountable body for the previous SEMLEP functions, including the Growth Hub and the Careers Hub. The Joint Committee of the South Midlands Authorities is established to provide appropriate governance for the integration of former LEP functions and as a vehicle for the participating local authorities to work together to promote economic prosperity and boost economic growth across the geography of the South Midlands. It will effectively be the successor body to the South Midlands Authorities Board, but will formally be constituted, and its meetings will be held in accordance with the usual rules governing local authority meetings and executive decision-making, therefore achieving democratic accountability and effective principles of collective decision-making. The participating local authorities recognise that they have a collective role to play in promoting the South Midlands and representing the area in respect of consultations and negotiations. The proposed joint committee will have no remit, advisory or otherwise, in respect of devolution or any potential devolved powers, such as spatial planning or transport. Its remit will therefore be confined to the previous SEMLEP functions to which West Northants is now the host authority and accountable body. I therefore ask members to agree the recommendations before you tonight and would ask for any questions. Rob?
Yeah, I just have one really in relation to the implication for finance. Really, there's a bit of a concern about ensuring that the budget is focused on in relation to any reserves or funding that may be required by the council, which doesn't have the funds to. It's not something that we've made allowances for in the budget. It's on Appendix 2, paragraph 12.7. But if you look in the finance page where it says implies that there will be a financial implication for the council, but only in a circumstance where costs cannot be met from identified funds or reserves held by West Northamptonshire Council for supporting ongoing SEMLEP functions. So it's just, I think the recommendation is asked that we make sure that we are aware of the budget and the finance situation.
Absolutely, I understand what you're saying. I don't think there's any intention for it not to keep within the budget that's maintained at West Northants. Okay. Anybody else? Happy to agree it? Thank you very much. We now move on to item 9 and the formation of the Executive Advisory Body for Housing Improvement. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you, Hazel. The Housing Revenue Account Landlord Service incorporates the work of the Housing Operations and the BTS across 2 directorates. Performance has always been assessed within the services. However, there is no higher level group within the council currently that maintains strategic oversight of how our landlord services are performing and whether they are meeting the legal and regulatory requirements. There is a gap where there should be a single, unified, collaborative group with members' oversight and responsibility for accountability, assurance and risk, driving the required improvements of the landlord service as a whole. The gap in the governance framework exposes the councils to risk around being able to provide assurances that services are meeting legal, regulatory and policy standards, being able to evidence a robust approach to risk management, evidence that we are meeting the regulatory standards or the expectations of the regulator of social housing and MHCLG, which in housing is similar to failing to meet the standards set by Ofsted in CQC. Being able to confirm that there is a coordinated approach to information and knowledge management, data-driven decisions, systematic performance management and scrutiny of operations. The Executive Advisory Board model fits with our current governance framework and constitution. It will provide the appropriate oversight and accountability and satisfy the regulator and MHCLG that we have a robust approach to assurance and risk management across the service as a whole. The group itself will not have a direct work programme, but will exist to challenge and guide the service, providing recommendation to executive as necessary and requesting information from officers in order to do this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Rob. Are there any questions? Happy to agree the report? Thank you very much. Item 10, adoption of the HRA Landlord Services policies. Rob?
Thank you, Chair. Decisions in the service have historically been made to follow the law and good practice. However, a self-assessment against the regulatory standards confirmed there have only been 2 written policies to guide this: complaints and antisocial behaviour. Not having any written policies exposed the councils to risks around being able to evidence how we make decisions fairly, consistently and legally, tenants being unclear on what our expectations are when they can challenge decisions or what options they have within policy, failing to meet the regulatory standards, which in housing is similar to failing to meet the standards set by Ofsted in CQC. We had to urgently fill this gap to avoid sanctions from the regulator as well as potential legal action. We now have a full suite of policies written down. They cover all the fundamental aspects of our landlord service. The policies are a starting point and do not represent new ways of working or any changes in how we do things. They formalise what we already do, including any areas where we have enhanced or provided additional offers of support. We wanted to create a foundation for tenants and staff that sets out the roadmap for how we operate. We have consulted with tenants through the Tenants Partnership Board and need to quickly get these adopted so we can move forward safely. We are planning a review process of these over the coming 12 months and will be publicising them across all our physical and digital channels in a variety of formats, languages, etc. There are no negative financial or legal impacts on this policy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Rob. Are there any questions? Anybody? No, happy to agree? Thank you very much. Now move on to item 11 and the Luton Town Centre delivery plan. Okay, over to you, James.
Thank you, Chair. Executive is today asked to approve the new town centre delivery plan for Luton. The delivery plan presents the 41 actions that will be taken forward to deliver a thriving, sustainable and welcoming town centre for Luton, where residents and visitors alike can feel proud to live, work, study and play. The plan has been created collaboratively with close working between council officers and key town centre participants, including Luton Point, 2020 Development, St Mary's Church, University of Bedfordshire, the Culture Trust, the NHS, DWP and Luton Bid. Taking the Luton Town Centre Master Plan, first published in 2021, as a starting point, meetings and workshops were held with these partners to discuss their plans, ideas and ambitions for Luton. Further discussions brought partners together, looking at specific town centre areas, and the actions in the plan were generated in these sessions or originate from the master plan. The plan is aligned with our vision for the town centre and the town-wide priorities of Luton 2040. The 5 key moves of the master plan are still in sharp focus. These are recognising the importance of heritage assets, restitching the centre into the surrounding area, establishing better connections throughout, introducing a greater range of activities and bringing back the River Lee. The delivery plan will help to ensure that all Luton residents and visitors benefit from the £1.7 billion of planned investment in the town centre, in line with the Luton 2040 vision that no one in the town has to live in poverty and where everyone can thrive. Since the master plan was published, we have made significant progress and the town centre transformation is well underway. New spaces at Hat Works and Hat Gardens and the new public art can already be seen. And of course, the Beacon developments at the Stage and Power Court are just over the horizon, bringing in jobs and investment. As well as these new and exciting development, work is also taking place to deal with tough things. There is more to do. The Town Centre Task Force works with partners to deal with difficult issues in the town centre that are negatively impacting people's views of Luton, including begging, street drinking, drug taking and shoplifting. For it to be a success, the plan needs to be driven by the town centre ecosystem rather than just by the council. And the Town Centre Strategic Board owns the delivery plan and progress will be monitored and reported quarterly. It's an incredibly exciting time to be part of Luton's story. I look forward to seeing what comes next. I therefore ask the executive to formally approve Luton's new town centre delivery plan. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Are there any questions? Everybody have, oh yes, sorry, go on.
I've got a couple of questions, James. I know we set up a nighttime economy task force and task and finish group, sorry. And I know they were going to be making recommendations this month. Is that going to be filtered into this and included in there?
So the task and finish group, I think it's been pushed back by 1 month, I think, but I think they're starting to draw together the draft recommendations. I'll be looking at them with keen interest. That was more sort of part of the visitor economy plan, which is going to be coming forward as well. But it will certainly play a part in delivering this. This is still a draft document as well, so we can still add things to it. But delivering a vibrant town centre in the night time is one of the key planks of sort of bringing the town centre to life.
Can I ask, in delivering this plan, how are we factoring in the interests of global majority individuals, businesses, and on your programme board, how many actually people are there from a BAME background on that board?
So it's certainly been a key thing. One of the key questions I put to the task and finish group was, is the town centre in delivering for what our population wants? I think the answer at the minute is probably no. So we need to ask ourselves those questions. What do we need to do that? And hopefully we'll see some recommendations around promotion and bringing people into the town centre. On regard to the makeup of the town centre board, I don't know if we've ever done an audit of the town centre strategic board, but it's a broad range of partnership working from right across the town. If you want that in writing, I'm sure we can do an audit and get that over to you.
I think it'd be useful to see that. Also, I think a lot of what's happening here is cross-cutting a number of portfolios. And I think it would be useful to have the relevant portfolio holders on here because it is cross-cutting and it is quite important for the town we get this right. And I think having that involvement would help.
So what's the request to sit on the town centre strategic board?
But I certainly think sustainable transport, obviously property development. I think even community safety are people that this is cross-cutting because we need to get this town centre right and we need to make sure we address some of the concerns that residents have about it, and that kind of is a more discussion amongst ourselves. I think we can pick up.
Yeah, I think that's.
We may have to pick that up because I think that's a proper formulated committee, I think, isn't it?
The town centre strategic
So
board
it'll
is,
have
yeah.
to come back through the process. Okay.
But yeah, you're right saying that, there's a lot of different themes here and a lot of different things and a lot of challenges and issues and a lot of things will go into effect in the town centre. That's why we constitute the town centre task force with people from all angles of the council, from public health, built environment, partners as well, police, to try and tackle the issue from every single angle. It's a fair comment.
Mhm. Okay, we'll pick that up and have a look at it. Okay. Bassett?
Thank you. James, I mean, I think this is an incredibly exciting time for our town. We're reinvesting in our town centre. It's brilliant to see all of these initiatives to kind of, rejuvenate our town centre, and it shows our commitment as a group to ensuring that our town thrives. There's some brilliant projects here. The only question I had, I know you've worked hard on the train station and redeveloping it. We collected a petition as well. I was just wondering in terms of timelines and any kind of update on the train station, because it is something that we need to improve.
Yeah, I think the petition's up to, we've got to look at about 8,000. I think we're up to around that. Is it over 10 now? He's been away for a couple of weeks. He hasn't updated me. There you go. So we're over the 10,000. I think that was our benchmark. So I think it's clear the people of Luton, they want to see a redeveloped train station. It's absolutely vital for regen. We do have a train station delivery group, which myself and Javed sit on. We've got memberships from Luton Rising as well, because they're a key partner. Network Rail have also had people attend that. And we're actually in the middle of commissioning a feasibility study into what can be done around town centre delivery and train station delivery redevelopment. And I also think there's been some quite senior discussions with Network Rail at a very senior level, and hopefully we'll hear some more about it soon.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, Javeria.
So I completely agree with what Gulam has asked. I just have one small point that I'd like to make. Is this firstly is this the draft format or is this finalized? It's a draft. Well, I'd like to see the photograph of the women changed because from a female empowerment point of view, it's a bit too revealing for my liking, and we're trying to be inclusive here. So it's about respect for women. So we can have a photograph of a woman, but I'd like it to be less revealing. That's all right. Thank you.
Okay,
Do you just point that one out to me at the end? I'll pick up from here.
you pick that up, yeah? Okay. Anybody else? Oh, Javed, you asked. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I think this is absolutely a very exciting time to Bassett's point. 1.7 billion worth of investment, a new town centre, it could transform. Well, one question on the partners contribute to the work. And this sort of leads on from Councillor Abbas's point. How many of those people on that board actually live in Luton? Do we have any idea? Because obviously they're designing a town for Lutonians. I know they may have business interests here, but do they also have a vested interest in the town because they live in the town?
Well, I do, for a start. And we don't audit the membership on where they live. It's, they're in charge of key organisations like University of Bedfordshire, Luton Point, 2020 developments with Power Court. I think if we were to exclude them because of where they might reside during the evenings, we'd be missing out some key partners. They need to be involved. I understand the point, but they do have a vested interest in seeing a positive developed town centre as well.
And I think, so my point is, yes, they should be there, but I think we should get more people who are from Luton as well to add it to the board. And I think Harold just said that we'll take that back and we look at that, because I think that's important that we also have more. So you're there, but more would be nice to have more voices. Luton. A couple of other questions were, one on the stage, is it going to be 600 or 400 capacity? Do we know for the
600 person standing?
600, yeah.
Yeah, that's been the ambition. I think I've seen figures looking around about 400. I think that maybe it's adaptable, so it could be that maybe seated, but 600 person standing is what we've been going for.
Okay, and on this open leave funding, 15 million, is that correct? Because I thought it was around half that.
So I've just questioned those figures. Yeah, we're looking into those one. As you say, these are drafts. Yeah,
correct the figures. And on this one, perception of the town centre via the annual survey. On here, we've got a target at 2030, 47%. I don't think that's ambitious enough. I think we should be looking, if we're going to be spending in the next 5 years, 1.7, the perception needs to be well over 50, it should be around 70, 80%, not 47%.
I agree with the ambition needs to be a bit more, but I think these are big ships that took a long time to turn around. It's going to be we've seen a start this summer where we putting on some live events in the town centre. If we can keep that programme going, people can see stuff coming out of the ground. Hopefully we'll start to turn some of those perceptions. I think it probably does need to be a little higher, but I don't think you'll find many places with 80% satisfaction to the town centre. Probably not even in the West End of London. There's some dissatisfaction definitely, but I take the point on about ambition.
Yeah, no, thank you. Just maybe 82%. I agree with that. But after potentially spending 1.7 billion, definitely we need to be north of this figure.
A clear majority, let's say that.
Yeah, thank you. Because if we after we spend 1.7 billion, hopefully, and we've got everything in place.
Just to be clear, we're not spending 1.7 billion.
No, we as a organisation,
we would like to see.
That's the ambition. Yeah, it's going to be 1.7 billion spent, and 1.7 billion. The ambition needs to be higher.
Yeah.
We want the private sector to spend.
A large chunk of it will be private sector, yes, but we need to make the environment attractive for them to come in and spend that money.
Do. Okay, anybody else? No, happy to agree the delivery plan? Thank you. All right. Now move on to item 12, and Rumi.
Thank you. Right, okay. The Healthy Weight Delivery Plan places a renewed emphasis on embedding the wider building blocks of health as part of a whole systems approach. This in accordance to recently published NICE guidance, national benchmarking and local insight. Healthy weight remains a significant public health priority as set out in Luton 2040 vision and population wellbeing strategy. As indicated in the report for childhood obesity is a major concern locally. Those living with excess weight face far greater challenges from health and social perspective. The delivery plan provides a roadmap to rebalance the focus on a holistic approach to healthy weight, placing an emphasis on improving health and well-being outcomes through achieving health equity and not focusing solely on behavior change. The ICB is a key partner in embedding preventions across the health system, aligning commissioning and services with Luton's healthy weight priorities. The ICB's strategic delivery plan for prevention complements the healthy weight delivery plan by focusing on prevention and equitable access to health services, prioritizing those most disadvantaged. The Healthy Weight and Sport and Physical Activity Partnership Board is accountable to the Health Equity Partnership Board, which is jointly led by the Council and NHS. As well as taking a whole system upstream approach, it is important to remember that the importance of the services we commission to support those living with overweight and obesity. Delivering Luton's healthy weight delivery plan requires system-wide ownership. The solution to this challenge cannot be solved by public health in isolation. It requires every service and it extends to all our partners and community organisations. We all have a role in transporting Luton's environments to shape the population's choices around food and physical activity. So therefore, I recommend the Council's executive adopt the delivery plan for Healthy Weight 2025 to 2040 and commit to signing the Healthy Weight Declaration.
Thank you, Rumi, very much. Are there any questions? Umi, sorry.
Thank you. I just want to welcome this report. Of course, I think it's brilliant. I'm going to say something that I've said many times before, and I feel a bit like a broken record, but I think it's really good in the strategy. We're talking about, sorry, you're behind me, but I'm just going to look.
No, it's okay.
We're talking about a whole system approach and working with partners, but I would really like to see a commitment to working closer as a council on this. We've spoken about fast food takeaway licensing 4.5 years ago when I first became a councillor. That was the topic of conversation, talking about walkable streets and people feeling safe. All of those things contribute to being able to tackle obesity. We all know it's not just about healthy lifestyle and healthy choices, it's about being able to access things. And that's why the children in Luton are living shorter lives or they anticipate they will potentially live shorter lives, and they have higher rates of obesity and obesity related issues. And our environment does contribute to it. And it's not fair that children in St Albans or Harpenden or anywhere nearby have a different experience and they don't have to face that. So I really welcome the strategy, and I really would like to see more working within the council and with our partners around things like licensing, stop fast food takeaways next to school, make our streets walkable, our lighting on our paths, being able to walk at night, being able to access green spaces, making sure our parks are maintained. It all contributes to this, and also just for the health and benefit for our residents. So I just wanted to reiterate that, really. Thank you.
Thank you. We did at the Health and Wellbeing Board agree to a report coming to the executive to say that obesity in our children would be our top priority because it's the most important thing. It's our future of our town. But that report hasn't appeared here. So I'm hoping it will come. That will fit very much into this healthy weight programme.
Can I just add one thing? Sorry, the Health and Wellbeing Board was only recently, so I get why we haven't done that yet. But I also know that obesity is not something that we're going to get a response and numbers from within the next year. And I know even 4 years, it's sort of a 10-year strategy to see the numbers come down. So just to reiterate, I don't expect really, really quick results, but I would like us to see movement.
No, thank you for that. And we will take that on board. I know the team are sort of working, as we said, across the system. And
I think regarding takeaways around schools, there's revised national planning policy framework now grants local authorities clearer powers to refuse applications. So we will be looking into that and take on board in terms of lighting, etc. Create that sort of safety when people are out walking in the evening and at night. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other questions? No? Happy to agree the report? Thank you very much, everybody. Can I take the statement as read, please? We have one item